Hey, can you guys hear us?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear us again? Yes. No? Yep.
No, we're on talkback. We're on talkback. Can you guys hear us, though?
Center official for today's match is Jamie Padilla, the head coach.
Well, and that's the national anthems as we get ready for kickoff here. It's our first game match here on this Monday evening. France and Brazil. Again, Mike Pepper alongside Mark Serber as we will get you those starting lineups here in a moment as the teams prepare. Another look here. There's a good look at France. We'll be wearing white with the black shorts and again, or the blue shorts and the white socks. Brazil will be wearing the blue white-blue combination, obviously different colors of blue. Good look there at the Brazilian team. As we mentioned, the Nike International Friendlies here at Lakewood Ranch, the premier sports campus. A warmer evening, 72 degrees. Let's take a look at the lineups here as we get started for both France and Brazil. First for France, as you can see the 11 they'll put in there as they prepare for the 2020 Women's World Cup, which will be coming up, obviously. 2020. That's what we've delivered here for you is the incredible insight of telling you the 2020 World Cup is set for 2020. And now there's, of course, with France and a look at Brazil, who, again, be wearing their blue, white, blue combination here as it goes out there. Again, another look at France. But referees for tonight's match was Jamie Padilla. She'll be in the center. As we see here, the weather, 72 degrees as we look at there at Brazil. 72 degrees on a wonderful night here as we prepare for this. No wind to speak of. It's being an absolutely gorgeous evening. A little warm during the afternoon, but certainly we should prepare for this. No advantage on one way or the other as far as a wind we look at. Should be just perfectly played soccer without the elements as far as a factor. Get a look here at some of the formations as well when we get an opportunity. It will be going from left to right on your screen will be Brazil, France from right to left, and we'll get another idea here as the teams prepare to kick off.
Will you guys let me know when my audio is ready to go, please? Okay.
So as it will be France from right to left, and Mark, I know that certainly maybe some technical things that we've got set up now, but should be a fun one here to watch tonight.
Yeah, it's good to be with you, Pepper. I mean, this is a France side that you talk to anybody in the women's game, they'll tell you this is one of the best under 20 teams in the world. Just won the European Championships, the U19 level, to qualify for the 2020 World Cup, facing off against the Brazil side that has so much talent going forward. So this is going to be a really fun game to watch. And if you're the U.S., you're happy this game is first because you want to see these teams in action. You don't want to start a tournament facing one of these two teams without having seen them play.
Without that unknown, and particularly you get to the youth, and obviously with videos and everything available to teams now, but getting a chance to see them in person, there's nothing like that. France will look to go forward.
You know, and this is a France side with just so much experience. Not only have the majority of them played in that victorious European Championship, but on top of that, I would say almost, if not more than 50%, already have matches for their senior sides. And so they know what it's like to be in the professional setting day in and day out. So this is one of the teams that already they're saying could go all the way at the 2020 World Cup once the venue and date is confirmed for the tournament, which will be next year.
And when you're talking about France and the senior side, the top clubs already, or top nations already, U.S. Got by them, and it was the round of 8, I believe, to advance, and that was a hard-fought victory. A chance now here for France to get a shot on that will be deflected. It looks like it will roll towards the corner and eventually over the line here for a France throw.
You know, we talked to the French staff earlier today, and they said, you know, we know Brazil's a very talented team. They're great going forward, but we still think there are some ways that we can hurt them defensively, and so look for them to really have a go and press forward here tonight.
Go out again, so they'll keep it down and try and put the pressure into it. Wearing the captain's armband for France is Julie Dufour. That will go off Brazil once again.
So on the other side, you have a Brazil team that obviously has been together. They've already had 2 camps in this cycle, but at the same time, they're still waiting to play their South American Championship, which will be in Argentina in March, but they haven't had that tournament experience that this France side has coming into these Nike International Friendlies.
And the experience is what it's about, particularly when you talk about the youth there. As Brazil will look to counter. A lot of white jerseys behind the ball, and it will come back to be reset by the goalkeeper, Petito. Going forward, ball over the top by Nato. Brazil will have it, and under a little pressure, they'll turn it over in their own third. Reset now. Kate Nato with the pressure front. Now that shot's going to go just over the crossbar. An opportunity there on the left foot. That was taken by, it looked like it was Kessia Busi. Another look here, Mark.
Yeah, Space, I love that touch into the gap. The defense was backing off, invited to shoot, and was looking for that upper corner, almost found it. A warning shot, though, fired early on from France. And what I like is, you know, sometimes you look at these games and in the early going, both teams are kind of feeling each other out. Well, here they're both going for it. They're both trying to move the ball along the ground at pace. So that's really going to be a fun game if this keeps up for the full 90 minutes.
Reset. Madulita now out here to the near side. It's Inez Bellamou. Bellamou will cross it in. It's into space right now. It will find its way across to the far side. That shot will deflect off, and it is kept in by Nicoli. We've seen dangers right there for Busi early on. Collision there on the side. We'll get the foul as no advantage goes on.
That was a lovely little flick from Jacqueline. She knew that she was going to get that contact, was able to get her foot up and get that ball around. So even if she wasn't able to get it in the direction she wanted, she knew she would win the foul. And I think it was a good job by the referee there to play advantage and see whether that pass connected or not. And when it didn't, she pulled it back for the Brazil free kick.
Good run here by Brazil. Played into space, though, and sent back to the goalkeeper. They'll reset. Dropped in under pressure. It's France will try to counter, finding the open person on the near side with the run. Looking across into Busi. It'll go off Busi, and it will roll over the far line as that counter fizzles as it reached the 18.
Well, I remember watching France last year, Mike, and one of the things they are so good at is moving the ball in the middle and getting the defense pinched in and then having their outside backs take the space that's created on the wing, and they always have speed down the flanks. And so look for them to get in plenty of crosses or early long balls like that there, because that's where they like to really attack the space.
Brazil will opt to play it out the back. It's Victoria Heish. It will be a Brazil throw. Just into the 7th minute. France and Brazil scoreless. First game of the Nike International Friendlies. Part of the U.S. Soccer Winter Cup, Winter Showcase going on. The women get a chance to get started tomorrow. We just finished up with the boys. And they'll dominate, and it's nice that this Nike International Friendly is always revolving around it as well. Brazil going forward, a nice back heel into the box, and well defended as it's covered back by Rivelli. And the head collision results in a free kick for France. Onto the far side now. It's Boosie. She's been dangerous, been the exciting player, and she'll get a corner kick out of this one. Boosie's been running around a couple of those shot opportunities. She's been very active early on.
Yeah, and I think now it's about getting the services right. They're finding the space, but it's that final ball is what it comes down to. Well, so far, early days here, and already had a corner kick, already had a shot just off target, but as soon as they really find that service and get it right, then they could be real trouble for Brazil early on.
Outswinger, driven towards the 6 or to the 12. It's headed away. France looking for a call, not going to get it. They'll get the ball back. That is the captain, Dufour, on the outside. Now back across. Up for the header. It's taken down on the feet by Brazil. And now they'll try and get out to their own end, and they'll be able to slow it down. A couple balls into the box there. No one able to get onto the end of it. I like that, the name on the back. I don't see that all the time now. Spellamule back with it. Under pressure. And Bellamou, after losing it, will get called for the foul. Onto the far side. It's Giselli. Slotted through, looking for Iudamila. From 20, trying to go into the box. They will push back out. There's Marta. Angelina and Marta trying to work together. That shot will roll in harmlessly to Petito.
It was great work, though, to create that space. And then when you're going to pull the trigger, you just need to have more confidence. Make sure you get purchase behind that shot.
France will get a nice run from the striker coming over. Plays it back in, now into the area. Can they get a touch? No. Brazil defends with lots of bodies behind it. They'll get it again, looking to get out of pressure, and France stepping it up. We'll get the turnover, not completely, as they can't get through. Now up the line, and they'll be able to reset through Marlita. Now on the far side is Ravelli. Dufour. Ravelli gets it back, tries to cross and off the far touchline. Bussy can't beat the defender. 10 minutes have gone. It'll be a throw in Brazil.
What I'm really enjoying about this is 95% of the passes that we've seen is positive. It's not going back and sideways. Everybody is looking to go forward. Everybody is looking to make that probing pass. And so it's been a very enjoyable 10 minutes. The other thing that I'm noticing is even though France are finding some space to attack down the flanks, Brazil's collective defending, especially centrally or when France does get into those dangerous areas, is very, very good. One thing that head coach Jonas Urias dos Santos said that he really likes about his side is their work rate and how unified they are, and you're certainly seeing that in their team defending.
Yeah, they've been able to cover back, and when it looks like France has been dangerous, Brazil has really kind of kept it at bay for a good chunk of that. As at midfield, Brazil will look to get themselves to go forward. Miss hit there, and they'll turn it over, and they'll push their pressure up. Petito doesn't want to see that. She'll send it up towards midfield. As Mbacaniaro. It's off the face, or I guess it was off the arm, and that's what will get the handball.
Yeah, both hands were up. coming in on that slide. Still love that though from Victoria Reis, trying to step up, creating an extra body in the midfield, but also not allowing that ball down the line, which would have been a good counter-attacking opportunity. So as you can see there, that was very brave. I totally would have turned my back about 5 yards before that.
I thought it was originally off the face. Instead, it did go off the left arm. I felt, wow, that had to hurt, man.
But at the same time, you'd much rather give up that free kick there, which no ref is going to see as a cynical foul, than you would obviously letting that ball in behind you.
Yeah, it's hands are up on a slide into that area. It's certainly not bringing the attention if it's just straight up above you. If they go out and no real time to react on it, something about 2-3 yards away from you. And as we mentioned, the USA 20 teams will be split into a couple of groups, the red and the blue, and they will play these two teams on Wednesday and Friday. Quickly taken, and it's pushed out off Brazil. Bussy waits on Dufour. Dufour wearing the armband for France.
Well, she's a player that was here last year.
I remember.
Well, yeah.
Very impressive player, and obviously with the Under-20 World Cup coming up next year, going to be an integral part, you would think.
And that's the biggest thing for both of these coaches. In tournaments like this, they are looking not only at the players that they know they have at their disposal, but at new players as well, or the players that they see. Can they handle the rigors of this kind of tournament where you're playing a lot of games in a very short amount of time? And are these the players that not only have the skill, but also the mentality to go through, either in France's case, the 2020 World Cup, or in Brazil's case, the U19 or the U20 championships, which are coming up for them in March? And let's not forget that, you know, Brazil holds that mantle. They've won all 8 editions of the U20 South American championships, which double up as the qualifiers.
Well, and that's, I mean, that's a critical part too, especially when you talk about this age group. As you start to see the 16 through 20, a lot of those kids who were 13, 14, 15-year-old superstars, they still get into that, and a lot of them continue to develop. We saw with Christian Pulisic here. I mean, he was a standout at the Nike International Friendlies for the boys many years ago, and he's now obviously the face of the U.S. soccer, doing quite well in Chelsea. But when you see those players, a lot of times you get those 15, 16, 17 that take another year or two to develop, and as you start to get to this age group, that's where you want to make sure you're looking at everyone as much as they can, because some of those players take some tremendous steps in that age.
Absolutely. And the other thing too is they're not just watching what we're watching here, they're watching how do they conduct themselves in training, how do they conduct themselves in recovery, how are they acting when they're in the hotel. And the one feeling that I got is that both these coaches are really enjoying the groups that they've bought here for these Nike International Friendlies. And one thing that Jonas Urias dos Santos said was that, you know, he just loves the collective effort of this team, and they're always so focused. And on the other side, Gilles Ekem told us that, you know, the thing he loves about his group is they are so sophisticated that he gets to work with them on tactical theory.
Well, and you got a bite shot here. It's still free. And boy, oh boy, France really almost made Brazil pay off that as they got that fantastic cross in. The shot, I believe, was Becho. But man, a fantastic save in the back by Nicoli.
Yeah, and apologies there. You know, that's the thing about France is 1 minute they're just passing the ball around, next minute they're attacking in the flash. There's that service we were talking about, and a wonderful job by Niero to arrive and get her foot on it, but Nicoli at full stretch, and it's the positioning beforehand. She's standing just a yard or two off her goal, so she's in the position to make the save and make herself as big as possible. Maybe
a little fortunate for Victoria Reis that she didn't get called for a penalty behind, but it was Mbaka Niaro who got so much onto that shot. And Nicoli has kept this one scoreless here into the 17th minute. Bussy again now with a chance, running down the far side. There's no one in the area, but you'll get it into Mbaka Niaro, who kind of has a miss hit on that one. Will go down, but France will keep it.
The thing is, Niaro is making these really smart diagonal runs that are getting her in front of her defenders. And so she's receiving these balls in a little pocket of space. And if that's going to happen, the back line of Brazil has to step up so she can't receive it and shoot in 2 touches.
That one's headed away.
You know, but getting back to Akem, he said one of the things they're going to work on throughout these 3 games is many different systems, because he has the players that are able to handle it.
Well, now another ball into the area. This one just whipped on by Becho, and it's cleared out. Brazil was standing a bit of a flurry from France. Look to try and keep possession for a few minutes as they try to counter, but they'll lose it on their way out.
And look at how far back Niaro is coming to help out her defense. Well, she knows that she had 2 other players high, so she was able to drop back, and it was really good thinking from the forward in terms of how do you defend from the front.
Sometimes when that defender goes up, that's your responsibility, and pointed out a good defensive run in that case, but they will lose it towards midfield. It'll be a 1v3. That one pushing it down is Marta. She'll take a cross from distance, or was that a shot? I don't know. I think that goes out for a throw-in.
Well, that's one of those where it was a great job to beat the first defender, but if you know that you're not going to beat him for speed and you look across and you see that no one's arriving, hold up that ball there and wait for the cavalry to arrive. You've seen what France have done to Brazil in the last 5 to 10 minutes, to the point where Brazil needs a breather, so they get that ball forward, but the rest of the team isn't pushing up to join their outlet so that she can connect, and so that's where Marta then had to go at it alone.
We have a couple of players. Marta, who was down, is up. There's another player down on the far side. I believe that may be Iudumila. Without speculating, I think number 13. Don't see her out right now. So Iudumila it is.
It is Iudumila, and they're doing a lot of work defensively, and they are doing it well, but the one thing is, you need to realize when you're in those moments of the game where you're on the back foot, and that if you need a breather, you need to step on that ball and pass it around a little bit, get your breath back, and then you can go forward the way that they were in the early going. But right now, you know, France has them winded at the moment.
Well, and that opportunity here is that ball did go out towards the corner. Can they pinch and keep him in? Iudumila has had her work cut out for her on that far side, as Boosie has been up and down that side getting a couple of crosses. So her recovery will help out for that. Dufour is fouled.
And I love the way that that Brazil defends in the forward and midfield areas. They do get 2 or 3 players around the ball right away.
Sweeping across as France looks to go forward now. They'll go down the line running onto it, but its second ball is Boosie. They got some numbers here that choose to go forward. 3v3 on that, at least put it into the area. It's headed away by Camila towards the corner, and Giselli will earn the free kick. Never really understood that when a defender is facing away from it, finding themselves in the corner, why foul? But you know, they're doing everything they can to get a foul. So.
Por quê? Pressão, nós estamos fazendo aquele giro do trio, tá acompanhando muito. É. Talvez aí eu de chegar mais. Aí eu de ajudar, talvez.
Brazil working around the back. Lauren. Into Angelina, who is wearing the captain's armband for Brazil. Penetrating ball into the middle here. Good tackle. Jean-Francois is able to slow that down a little bit as Brazil look to get it across quickly. That one will miss. Dumila is back on.
There's obviously a couple ways that you can play with your number 6, that holding midfielder. One thing Coach does very well is sometimes she moves against the grain of the ball, and so it opens up gaps for her to get it. For Brazil, though, the number 6, when the defense is carrying the ball out, they need to do a better job of dropping into the pockets and receiving the ball so that they connect between the defense and midfield lines.
Another look at the foul here for a moment. Now we'll look at the 1-2. Missed a little bit, but it's still, as you mentioned, Coach.
But you're looking at Miriam or Edumila when Brazil bring the ball out of the back. One of them needs to be checking into the pockets to be that easy ball, because right now they're trying to thread that ball through either to the high wingers or the forwards, and France is cutting it off.
Well, France with another chance. They've been very dangerous in that wing. Boussy inside. Jean-Francois back out again. There's Ravelli. Driven into the box, and it's off the post. It was almost a scorpion kick. Don't know if she got a lot on it. It looked like maybe she could have done more, but boy, the results of that off the post, dangerous for France.
The first thing I noticed as that ball was coming in is she is wide open. So now France have found their radar on these crosses. Perfect ball, and wow, that would have been Sports Center top 10 worthy had it gone in. Also, if she had just maybe time to run a little bit more, it would have been a free header and she would have been able to direct it. But as it stands, well, you know, to me, that's like the Marcelo Balboa bicycle kick, where you always wonder if it had gone in, you know, what kind of, you know, cultural phenomenon would it have been? I mean, I'm sure that goal would have broken Twitter. I had a couple of opportunities like that before, and I've hit the post, so hey, I know exactly how she feels. Of course, mine was in a co-ed game against kids, but and I was probably 40, but hey, it still would have done quite well. Now played up towards the line, over the top, run onto it for Brazil, Jacqueline, and she'll get called for the foul. I think Jacqueline has every right to be upset there. It was too tactile for the referee's liking, but I don't think that was a foul. I think she went in definitely with force, and there was contact, but I think the defender went down a bit too easily. Could have been a bit more stout in her shielding. Brazil trying to connect on that last pass. Marta, Jacqueline. Taken away by France. Little room for Dufour. Dufour cuts across the middle. She's got help. Boussy. Does she go at the defender this time? Does, and doesn't get away with it there. Still slows it down enough. Brazil doesn't have a lot of places to go. They'll have to go backwards, but they would do find eventually. Here's the near side for Jacqueline. And off the arm. No real protesting, so France, they opt to send this one in, drive it out. They've had so much success on that far side. That's where they'll go with it. Gorgeous little layoff there on the first touch. Yeah, you work with kids who are like 8, 9, 10 years old, and they always say, why do we have to juggle the ball? Well, that's why, because that's where that touch comes into play right there. So the throw goes Brazil's way. Looking forward, Lauren. Skip pass. And Demila will find Victoria Silva. Now that left foot across into the box. It is going to go back to Petitot, who controls it with the foot before Angelina can get in there. Good job, Brazil, turning them back.
will go across the back. Marlita.
One of the things I'm really enjoying about France is watching their front three. One of the things that they do very well is they all try and stretch the defense as long as they can, and Brazil playing in the two banks of four, you see it there. That defense goes back with them, and then it creates that 20 yards in which one of the forwards will check into to get the ball in between the midfield and defensive lines of Brazil. And it's created this opportunity here for them, which they'll have on the throw-in.
Almost connected, Ravelli and Busi.
You know, and this is what I love when you talked about the fact that the DA Cup is going on. You could see some of the Development Academy players are over here. I feel like every Development Academy team that is here that isn't playing a game right now, and looking at the other fields, it looks like the DA Cup matches have finished for the day. I think they should be here so that their players can watch and see, you know, this is the speed of the game. This is what it's going to take to get to the next level. They have some of the best U20 players in the world, and the majority of them who are already playing professionally to look at as you know, models that they can look at right in front of, role models right in front of their eyes here. So I think that that's something that DA teams will be taking advantage of this week here in Florida.
I absolutely agree, and it's such a great opportunity to see national teams, and especially also, I mean, obviously with France and Brazil, and you know, there's so many that do appreciate the talent of all that, but needless to say, I mean, hey, the United States, one of those top two, as always. Heck, they are the defending World Cup champion as far as the senior squad, so that youth is always there. So, and a lot of these girls probably know someone or is in that same region that has been part of it, with the U.S. at least, as this through ball almost makes it, but it is docked away. It's a race for it on the far side. Brazil will get it and be able to slow it down a bit.
Well, I think the biggest thing, too, about watching the game in person, especially at this great stadium here at the Lakewood Ranch Sports Complex, is, well, first of all, not only do you not have to listen to us, but the second thing is the game, you really understand the speed of the game, where maybe you don't get that understanding as much watching on maybe your computer or your iPad, but you really get an idea of the speed of the game that these girls play at.
And Becho will get into the area, and it will go out for a corner kick. And don't fool yourself, Mark. There's plenty of people who are watching us on those on their iPhones and other devices as they watch it on ussoccer.com, or whether it be the Facebook or one of the many other pages. I can tell you that with certainty, because the game that I was calling on Saturday was a substitution of the goalkeeper for one of the teams, and they didn't let me know, and it wasn't really visible, but same uniform, same thing, 112. One of the moms came up to let me know that the substitution was made at the half. So yes, they are listening. With an injured player down right now, getting a little attention, I believe.
It looks to be Camila, or no, not Camila. I apologize.
Giselli?
Four, yeah, Giselli.
So Giselli, who would just say France has been dangerous when going down that side. So she's been called on to defend quite a bit on that far side. So maybe just getting a little bit of a break, knowing that, hey, they're running at me. I'm going to need a minute here. She has to go back up to midfield. It looks like they're not going to let her come in behind there. So she'll make her way back up the sideline. But it will be an outswinger. It will be Dufour who will take this. She drove it to the penalty spot last time. Should go about the same spot this time. That one's headed away by Brazil. Tucked inside. A little room for Nato. We'll move it as Bellamou finds Marlita across to Ravelli. And that one goes into the stands. 32nd minute, still scoreless, France and Brazil.
Se acertou? Se consertou, você fala?
Here's Bellamou. Dufour. Poked off of her. Marta. As Dufour chases back, well, strongly won there. And behind the play, it looks like Victoria Heish clipped the left heel. Was that Kouache? Nope, that is indeed Bellamou.
Yeah, she did get a lot of the ball, but she did catch her in the back of the heel too. So I think the referee did get that one right. You don't understand though why Victoria Heish was frustrated, because she did make the challenge. But you know, one of the things I'm really enjoying about getting to watch this Brazilian team as well is that the Federation has been working really hard to create a pipeline to the senior team. And we obviously know of how talented the senior team has been and the epic battles that they've had with the U.S., but for the younger women as well, and also the professional league as well, which has been in its current format since 2013. So really giving these young ladies great opportunities to grow into that senior side.
A lot of talented players we've seen in a couple internationals that go in and play in that professional league, as it's develops in one of the better ones around the world.
It's not just the 16 or so teams in the first division, but you know, say you're a younger women player who maybe isn't there yet or still needs to develop a bit. They have like 32 to 40 teams in Division 2 and Division 3 as well. So that's an excellent professional pipeline for these young Brazilian ladies to grow up in, and we'll get to what France is doing as well.
Well, it's Nato. She'll earn the free kick. Is a little too aggressive on that time. It's Victoria Heish.
You know, France on the other side across the country have eight different regional academies where they bring in the best women players and develop them through the younger age groups, and that's where the majority of this squad has come from. Is you see once again the foul, and you understand the frustration from the Brazilian players. They're going in hard, and they're not going in with any malicious intent, but the shielding of the ball just so good from these French players. But the other thing that the French Football Federation has been doing as well has been working with the clubs to make sure that they're developing the pipeline of younger women's clubs teams.
This cut inside, looking on the back post, and that shot's going to go over the top. Open on the back post was Mbaka Niaro, but she had the wrong footage. She tried to go in with that right foot instead of the left, and as it hit the outside of the foot, we'll get another look at that replay, over the top.
Well, it was a lovely move to step inside the defender, and that allowed for the free cross. And Brazil have done a great job of shifting the defense from side to side, but the one thing that they've been doing is they're leaving players open at the back post. You understand the shift, you understand the need to get across, but you always have to keep an eye on that player that's drifting off your back shoulder and getting ready to attack the back stick. Brazil, you have to say, heading into these final 10 minutes, are very lucky that they're not down 2-0, because they're leaving some marks open in the box, and France has started to find their radar on these crosses. Now all they're missing is the finish.
And these turnovers are becoming more plentiful here as Brazil and France will get a chance to counter. Trying to go around the defender, Bellamou, but Bellamou is down, but holding a knee. We'll see as it goes on here as Brazil gets the ball. Do they opt to play it out as the injured France player is still down? And they will.
It's really sportingly done, because now you know the FIFA rules, as they have been for the last 2 years, they're under no obligation to play the ball out.
Yes.
See, it looks like she's sent on that.
I feel like she might have gotten a cleat to the leg in that challenge, just the way that she's pulling the sock down. You can see her pointing, hey, here are the studs.
Another look
so
at it.
Take a look. We can see is, yeah, I think right there you see the step in.
Right there, right there on that, as she's holding that right leg, the tackle in as she slid in. So I think you may have had a little contact beforehand, but it was certainly where we saw the bottom of the foot into that point. But she kind of led in with her shin, so don't think there was much there. But you know, we've seen some.
The two thing about the shoes today is the cleats. Not only usually a little bit of metal, but they're so technologically advanced to make sure that they stick into the surface. And then the second thing is the shoes have gotten so light that I really don't think they offer the protection that the shoes from even 10 to 15 to 20 years offered. Is you might have gotten stepped on, but you had at least an inch of leather there, or whatever the synthetic surface was, but now it just seems like it's very, very minuscule, the protection that you have on top of your foot.
Yeah, that's true. And Nike makes some fantastic footwear out there for the cleats as we play in the Nike International Friendlies.
And my favorite thing about wearing them is you don't feel like you're wearing a shoe at all.
I tell you, I'm a little old school, so I still kind of have mine, my old ones that I still do. I've always enjoyed those, but I pick up one of these shoes these days and I'm like, are you kidding me? These don't even weigh half a pound. It's insane. And you know, the plastic, obviously the bottom of the shoe, it's pretty phenomenal as France does the sporting thing, throws it back in. Turn opportunity as Miriam helps send it out wide as Iadamila is on the end of this pass now, trying to get it back into Gisele, who's run up the field. It will be a Brazil throw as they try and push a few bodies forward now. Gisele. Iadamila. Good turn. Got a little space as she gets into the box. Tries to play it across the 18. She does. Still free. Now it's running away from that, however. Onto the left foot. Now it's a chance, and France scrambling back to clear it away before a shot can go on target.
A wonderful work in the box there by Victoria Yaya. Able to turn and spin, and then the right ball to play it back, but France quickest to react to it through Nadeau. The one thing that I really enjoy about France is even when it looks like they're behind a step or they might get caught on a counter, they defend so tranquilly. You know, it's not desperate defending even when it seems like it's a last gasp clearance. It's like they knew what they were doing and they had the situation under control the entire time.
And as they drive forward, but I think the flag will come up, and it does. It was a good job defensively of letting Betcho run into an offside position.
Really good work, like you said, from the center backs, is first of all to stay connected there, and second of all to understand the situation and let Betcho stray in behind them into that offside position.
Along the back, France under some pressure. Petitot will just send it up towards midfield. And yes, that will be Betcho, who stuck the hip in. And Jacqueline.
You can see the referee there. 1, 2, 3, no more. The next one will be a yellow card for persistent fouling.
It was actually Victoria Heish that went down. Yeah, and you know, the thing is you can see there's no real opportunity to play the ball. She's playing the player.
And I think you have to give Victoria Heish credit there, because you could see what Niaro is trying to do is she just trying to get that body position and then turn so that the ball goes with her. And yet Victoria Heish got into such a good position that the only thing she could do was clip her as she tried to make that turn. So you look here, she's got the position. Now she's trying to step in front and make that turn, but she can't get in front of her.
Even stepped on her foot to begin with. That one played up the field. Nico Lee. Probably had the highlight moment of the half on the save she made down lower left. Here's a chance now. Onto the right foot. That's going to deflect, and it's going to go in! Goal for Mbaka Niaro. She took it, and I think maybe the deflection kind of threw Nico Lee off.
You had to have the feeling for France that, you know, they've been doing everything right, that they were going to make the breakthrough. But the fact is, for all the beautiful pattern play, for all the great crosses they were getting into the box, they just weren't finding that finishing touch. And so, you know, they deserve it for their enterprise. But it's not surprising that it comes off of a deflected shot.
And here's another look here. It's about 25 yards out. You can see that was early on in the play back, and it was kind of the miss hit, and from there it developed. And again, the turnover into their own third was the cause right there. As Mbaka Niaro got it in and out of the bounce. So that deflection is going, and I think again maybe that turnover in the back Nicole wasn't where she needed to be anyway, so.
Yeah, trying to play the ball out of the back, you absolutely have to connect because you can't give the ball away there, obviously. But for me, the assist was super impressive because not only did the player have the presence of mind to step in and make that interception, but she also knew what she wanted to do with the ball before it came to her and made that pass one time right into the path of Niaro and made it easy for her to get that one touch to get her foot, the ball out from under her foot, and the second touch to play it in. And so talk about it being a deflection, but you create your own luck, and France did off that press there, not allowing Brazil out of the back. But you have to say, going down and winning the corner, and now the foul,
the free kick.
It's a great response from Brazil.
When Brazil is taking it down, they will get it. It's about 8 yards off the line. It will require a two-man wall for France, at least for the eyes of Petito. As for those two, the two out on the ball are Angelina, who will be hands on the hips, and will they play it short? Looks like Angelina with that left foot, or excuse me, on the right foot, but instead it will be played in on a curler towards the spots, headed straight up. France will clear it out. Taken by Camila. Tries to go into the area. Nice ball. That one played in and just wide of the near post. As Marta would come in, but it will be a corner kick. So a fantastic save by Petito, who came out and made herself big. Keep this one with a 1-0 lead. There's another look, Mark.
Excellent counterattack. Beautiful ball slipped in by Victoria Yaya, and then great save. The keeper quickly coming off her line. But just look at that perfectly weighted pass, and you know, as a former keeper, that was a great angle and timing, and the keeper waiting till the right moment to go down and get a hand on that ball to deflect it around the post.
Fantastic save, but it does come up a corner. Let's see what Brazil can do with it. In swinger, driven in the near post. France is there first, and now it's out. So we enter the 45th minute.
But it was almost fashioned in the same way that France got their goal, was stepping in and winning the ball as the team was trying to play out, albeit this more in midfield, but quick 2 to 3 passes, and then wonderful vision from Victoria Yaya to slide that one in between the center and outside back.
Well, they'll try it again. This time, though, the flag will come up, and it'll be offside. But maybe half a step, and of course, I understand with the game and everything. I'm not a big fan of it. Let it play. You know, I mean, at that point, if you know it, it's playing to that person, raise the flag, because so much dangerous stuff can happen after that. You know, a player can come in, you're just finding a lot of things that maybe are unnecessary. But I understand it, and I understand they want more goals and less mistakes, but I'd like to see that flag come up a little earlier. Of course, that's from a goalkeeper vantage point too. You don't want to see your team have to react to something. 4 minutes of stoppage time we'll have. Free kick will go France's way.
The referee has added a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time to the first half.
I think Jacqueline's movement off the ball has been really good, the number 11 for Brazil. It's not only the spaces that she runs into, but it's the spaces she leaves that's often being occupied by Victoria Yaya, which is creating those opportunities. They've been most dangerous working in that channel over on the far side.
It's always one of those things that go out. They have moved Jacqueline a little up higher and moved Marta back into this right half side. Marta under pressure right there, at least, or with the given the pressure.
She's whistled for the foul here, but I love how every single ball she's trying to smuggle it behind that back line.
Well, she'll get a caution for that. Referee probably had an angle which showed a little more sinister into that than what maybe we saw up here. And here's another look. And that was actually before the play. Here it is coming up on this second foul. We'll get a look at it eventually here. This is France keeping the ball. So we're into the third minute of 4 that we're scheduled to play.
Number 9, Marta of Brazil.
I don't know, we'll have to get clarification. Was it Marta on that, or was it Yaya?
It was Yaya.
That's what I thought, perhaps, that I heard the announcement to the stadium. And be Brazil throw.
Espera pouquinho pra sair. Tá, pode fazer corredor pra casca por enquanto, depois a gente vê espaço e joga no meio.
Back into the attack with France on it. Attempting to turn. It'll be off of France. And that's a dangerous play. Stepped in. We'll see a card on this one too. That was a hard foul there by Demila. She stepped in on that and obviously trying to cut the player off. Another look at this one.
She definitely
2-footed hop and throw the hip check.
I was just about to say, she came in very high there. You can see what she's doing, but you can stretch that leg out. If you keep it low, you're okay. You might commit the foul, but you go in high like that, you might even see a different color than what she saw from the referee. So
that was a play on the player. So we final seconds of stoppage time.
Number 13, Guatemala of Brazil.
France will keep it. And that'll do it for the half. So first 45 done. France certainly the better of the team. Brazil had a chance though late to tie it up. Your thoughts on the first 45, Mark?
Well, it's been really enjoyable to watch France. Not only the speed of play, but the speed of thought as well, and the way that they're combining. Brazil too, though, I thought that their collective defending at times was excellent, and also as the half wore on, I thought they got better at connecting as they moved the ball into more advanced positions up the field, and it culminated with them almost finding the equalizer.
Well, as you look at the highlights, we'll come back for the second half. But right now it is France leading Brazil 1-0 at the half. The U.S. Nike International friendlies here from Lakewood Ranch. as we get started here. Going to be a France ball. Mark, looking here at this, obviously France seemed to control a little bit more. Brazil in a nice attack did get it. If you're Brazil, start maybe looking at those substitutions in 15-20 minutes if it doesn't go right. Was that
yeah, absolutely. I think the two things that you need is you need to vary up your attack a little bit and see if you can connect more, and I think you need a little more work in the center of the park in terms of having those midfielders find the pockets of space to get the ball from the defense and turn and connect with their forward line. I think if you're France, it's more the same. If anything, hold on.
And Dufour into the area. She's onto the right foot, and a big save by the goalkeeper, Nicoli. But man, oh man, first minute already in France with another opportunity, and Nicoli has to come through big here for Brazil.
And Nicoli did a great job of closing down that angle, and so she's saying to Dufour, you're either going to pull this back or you have to beat me with power, and Dufour struck that one very well, but a strong wrist to be able to punch that one to safety.
In swinger on the corners, Dufour. Near post, it's won by Brazil, but the loose ball on top of the 18 still comes down to France, but there's a lot of blue shirts around there, and they eventually will come away with it and get the free kick.
As Edu de Mila, who's slow to get up, but what I was saying before France once again found a beautiful ball through into that channel is that, you know, the way they're playing, we talked about the fact that their head coach Gilles Lechem said that he wants to play different systems, and he has the ladies with the tactical newest to do it and begin to learn that before the World Cup. Here's a great opportunity to say, okay, we played the first half one way, let's see if we can attack them another way.
Edu de Mila not real happy as that stepped on the back heel, but nothing came out of that one. It will roll back all the way to Petito. On ball looking for Niato, and it will be Dufour. Dufour with some space will look to push it towards the corner and kept in by Brazil. Nicely defended there. And that's the second one there for France. For Mbaka Niato. I would think that we saw the 2 cards issued to Brazil in the first half, that something may change, but here's a chance for Brazil. It is taken thwarted by the defense. They'll restart with France. Now they'll just play it up towards midfield. Nice little touch, but offside. Marta said she wasn't, but the line disagreed.
Yeah, I think she was offside there, and once again, it's that awareness of just holding your run, but there's Brazil starting to connect a little more, and when those forwards do get a little bit closer together, those quick 1-2s are starting to hurt France a little bit. And Victoria Yaya has to be careful because she's on a yellow, getting another talking to from the referee, but I love that look on her face. One of pure bemusement. What did I do?
In that case, did she say something? You don't know, but here's Yaya.
The thing about Yaya, she didn't connect on that pass, but you can see the gears turning in her head. You can see that she already knows when she gets the ball what she's going to do with it. And once again, she's looking to release players in behind France's back line.
Marta and Yaya have starting up top, but they have kind of alternated a little bit with Jacqueline. Right now it is Marta and Yaya up top as France plays keep away in the back. Towards the corner, played up return. Nice individual move there. As Damila. It'll be a France throw. '51st minute. France leads Brazil 1-0. A first half goal by Niaro.
Oh no, all three of them were offside.
They were.
I was gonna say, don't pass that. You could take that yourself. The minute you slid it through, they were off. And once again, a great attack from Brazil, but the players just need to hold their lines there.
Damila, you're right. She could have taken herself because she had no one in front of her, but saw her blue-shirted teammate up there and advisedly played it there.
That's the right foul right over the top there. You can see Marta getting it on the back of the neck.
It was Camila. Will go up top. On the run. It's defended there by Pelo.
Once again, we talk about Jacqueline's movement. Now over on that far side, she vacated that space, came in, sucked that defender in with her, and that allowed the player to come in from deep to get that quickly taken free kick into the space. That was very well done by Brazil.
France will take it with some space now. But Brazil slows that down well. This could be a dangerous ball. Dangerous ball. Oh my goodness.
When the pass back was from France.
That is a horrific missed call.
In the end, though, it doesn't really matter because the keeper got to the ball first. But now instead of giving it to throw into Brazil, they get a free kick out of the back.
And that is true. I mean, certainly the keeper got wow. Burrito
Sometimes
from the first half. Sometimes it's a little bit too much. And the drop ball, really it's an interesting situation here because Brazil will be able to keep it, but only because they're on the wrong end of a call. You don't know. Sometimes the keeper, we did hear the whistle. We saw the Brazil players slow down. Did they mishit it? You don't know. But that's one of those recognizable things too, not just on the line, but the referee. And, you know, it's something you have to recognize that did come off of the French player. But now there's a chance and they get this opportunity and it'll be forgotten, but it is. Damila sent into the box. It's cleared away. Dufour.
The Brazil's commitment and their desire to get bodies behind the ball and get in their position has been really impressive to watch tonight. When you have that as a foundation, it makes it easier to start to correct things on the attack. It's the teams that don't have that desire, that don't have that work rate and commitment to get back behind the ball, that are the ones that end up struggling in tournaments, because the attacking part is just that last piece on the top of the pyramid.
And all that, yes, too. But and not going back because it's a beyond the point, but the missed call in that case, what it does is the frustration level too. It changes there because Brazil sees themselves as being wronged, as France will come back on this counterattack. And any 50-50 call, you might see that. Obviously an aggressive play here. Didn't seem to be much, but if there was any reason, maybe the whistle's not blown because you see you don't want to be perceived to go out there, as we have two injured players down. The Brazilian player came in on the tackle. That was Victoria Reis, and the French player is up now.
Yeah, that was a fair challenge, but it was one of those really dangerous ones, not because of the players, but because both of them are hitting the ball at the same time. And so their legs are going to snap back the opposite way. And so very fair, but very scary. And we got our game's first substitution.
There we go. Coming into the game for Brazil is Mylena. So Mylena will come on, and it looks like it was Idemia who comes off, correct?
Yeah, it was Ed Dudamila who came off and really had a good game, but a couple times on the wrong side of some bad challenges as well. So one of the things is you love the aggression from her, but just need to be a bit more smarter about how you step into those tackles.
So that pressure there as France keeps it now. And they will force the turnover, will Brazil. Trying to slide it through onto the high side, but it does come down to the foot of Yaya. Into the box for Marta. Marta will go down, looking for a foul. Didn't seem one there, but the appeals didn't stop. It's to 4. So the throw will go France's way.
France doing a great job to find the solutions and how to play out of traffic.
Ball down towards the corner. It will go out for Brazil. Marco, a point we were talking about in the first half too, because of the youth players that come out and get an opportunity to see it. The great thing with the women is the under 20. The youth leagues by this time in the United States are pretty much ended. So this is for these young players what they can aspire to. And I just want to touch on that because we just finished and they did move the men's 19 or the 17s up a couple of weeks before Thanksgiving this year to be held. That was in large part because of the Winter Cup, the new format they had this year, that some of these players that do play for the national team were not for their team, for their club team. And that's why their development academy team, and that's why they moved it up. So those stars really weren't taken away from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so in the past, those games on the boys' side did count toward the regular season standings, but now these teams are here at Lakewood Ranch playing for a trophy, playing to get into the final phase, which will be held in the spring. So that's why that change was made, and we'll see if that's something that comes along on the girls' side as well. But I still think it's great to get to be here when this is going on. Yeah. You play your own game, you're learning how to develop, and then you say, okay, you know, I'm doing well at the DA level, but I want to take that next step. I want to be, maybe if I'm already on the U17s, but I want to continue into the U20s. Now I get right in front of me and look at what do I have to do, and it's right here. And
I don't think with the 20s, it's because again, that's beyond the thing here. Is this ball sent into the area? It's headed out by Brazil. Second ball, DeFore is going to come down with it, looking for help, but it got stepped in front by our own teammate, but they do keep it. Now they're going to play it out to the high side, where Belamu will play it towards the corner. Kept in now. It's still Belamu. Tries to drive inside, and Brazil will force her to go backwards. They'll reset, will France.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a great point. With the 20s, you're not losing the majority of your players the way you were when the Nike International friendlies on the men's side is the U17s.
Of course, yeah.
The only players you really don't have at your disposal at the moment are the ones who just finished up the College Cup. That's
the thing. When they are at that age, they are pretty much playing college at this point. Those girls representing whatever it may be. Here's Brazil now, and that was poked out. That'll be a Brazil throw. So it does make that little bit of a challenge. You kind of heard that when talking with some of these club teams beforehand, saying, well, we've lost one of our stars. Is making a sub here for France first. Coming off will be Jean-Francois, and it will be Hamadou, Jamila Hamadou, will come on. Hamadou.
Substitutions in the 60th minute for France.
And also entering the game is Dialamba Diaby.
11, Vicky Bechot.
And Diaby is on for Bechot.
15, Jamila Amidou. Leaving the game, number 6, Oriane Jean-Francois.
So a couple subs here for France as we cross the hour mark. Did get it. Gisele, who's up from her left back, thought she may have been a sub, but she was on in the first half. So a couple subs here for France. They'll look to make their impact. Dufour. A couple times France have had some dangerous balls there. That ball over the top onto the far side. Tackle, but still into the area. Dropped back onto the right foot. That side foot is blocked, and it's now cleared out by Brazil. Looking, his body's still in the area, and that's skipped in. And Nicoli.
A bit ambitious, but you know, why not have a go? See if maybe somebody's running across the face of the keeper. Though there was so much time, I thought maybe she was lining up to send in an early cross, but I would love to have seen the attacker assess her options there before stepping into it.
That was the same thing as well. First touch for Amadou. Out there for Nato, and now it's up to the high side as Bellamou is challenged. And Bellamou will receive the free kick for France. Played down towards the corner. Here's Diaby. We'll see it go off or at least force the pressure and keep possession for France.
I think France, if they're going to get that second goal and find a way to get some space between them and Brazil, is they're going to have to step it up a gear and play a bit quicker.
And looked in here offside as the flag comes up.
But you can see there that attack from Dufour, one touch, two touch, get off your foot and go. Obviously, that's not always the way you want to play, but the way Brazil is defending so well, the way to make it a little bit of chaos and to get them out is to have those quick darting runs in behind and play one touch, two touch to get them unsettled a bit and then occupy those spaces. I think it's fair to say, and you quite understand it as well after long travel periods, but the pace has dropped just a bit.
Well, that one's into the corner, staying onside. Is Jacqueline working now with Gisele. Gisele has nothing, so she'll come back to Camila. Camila, knowing the bodies are into the area, tries to go, but there's a mishit there, and Camila will commit the foul. So Brazil will make a sub. Oncoming the number 10, the famous number 10 for Brazil. It's Maria Eduarda. This Maria, according to the jersey, on 4. Looks like Angelina.
Substitution in the 64th minute for Brazil. Entering the game, number 10, Dura. Leaving the game, number 5, Angelina.
We talk about the United States and having the two squads, the red and the blue, that will be competing against both France and Brazil. Also going on is the women's camp down here this week. So excellent chance to see all the top young players here in the United States.
Absolutely. You not only have these U20s, like you said, the national team is in Tampa, just down the road a bit. So really, I mean, this is the place to be at this time of year, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, it was a 70-degree night, Mark. I live down here for a reason. You get a little bit colder throughout most, although, you know, you could do your California thing, but Florida, hard to beat anytime you look at November through March, that's for sure. Of course, you have to put up with the occasional weird news story, which when you see on one of those channels that says, oh, must be Florida. Oh, and of course it is Florida. Don't get someone carrying their pet alligator into the store much up in the Northeast, do you?
Absolutely not.
Maria across the top. And we'll get a free kick here. A couple of bodies and taken down. This one's about 23 yards out, right towards the middle. It's not off center by much, and it's a good chance for Brazil to find themselves an equalizer.
And what set that up for me there was Brazil's patience. Yes, they had the ball at the top of the box, and there were a lot of bodies there. But instead of just trying to set it up real quickly and get a shot off before it's blocked, Maria held it on and then realized she had nothing. So she got a little layoff, quick dart, got it back, and then she was brought down. Where earlier Camilla had the ball about 10 yards behind, didn't have anything on, so she just thumped it right into the center where it was immediately cleared. Here, looking to combine a bit more, has created this opportunity.
Jacqueline she's the one setting this up, and I think she'll be the one striking this. It appears Maria will stand in front of her. Do they want to touch it one side? That's what we'll probably see. Obviously, and there it is off the one touch, and then struck on net. Did it get a touch? Maybe it hit the top of the crossbar. Petitto looked like she was up. I don't know if she had it covered or not, and maybe skipped off the top of the bar. So another look at that.
It's definitely skipped off the crossbar, and a wonderful effort. You know, my first thought is it's not indirect. Why would you want to touch it? It allows the other team to run at you and close down that space. But what that brilliance really is that when you touch it to one side of the ball, I'll get back to it.
Yeah, another chance here. And that's it. It's Jacqueline into the box, and her left-footed shot will go wide. They're looking for a penalty, and maybe the shoulder of Ravelli that stepped in, but no, definitely on the shot, nothing there.
For my money, that's tremendous defending.
I agree.
She's caught, she gets back, she's on the right side when she makes the challenge and gets the foot in front. Absolutely nothing in that.
She got in there, and yeah, I would agree. There's not much there. She got a strong shot off. To finish your thought, you were talking about the free kick. As far as why you would touch it off to the side.
I think I'll lay out here as well. It's another good opportunity.
Another chance here for France, but Brazil will take it. Chased down, now sent into the area. The header into space will come out here to Jacqueline. France going forward now. This one, it's Brazil towards the sideline. They'll restart.
I was just going to say, when you're standing in front of the ball like that, you're touching it to either side.
Yeah.
The players on the wall, they don't know which way to charge.
That's the big key. And the key part is a lot of times, obviously, with the ability by many of these strikers and top strikers of the ball, they can dip it down or whatever. But when you have the wall, you have to make sure it is about that place. That's obviously with some strength. When you push it out wide, that's when you see the true full power, because the wall is not as much of a factor at that point in time. And that's what we saw from Jacqueline by going out there. It wasn't something she wanted to get up and over down. In that case, she wouldn't want to touch that because you'd like that ball set. But when it's rolling and you can get that incredible strike off it, then you can have just there as long as you're not putting it into them.
I also think, too, as a keeper, you're not sure where to set your feet necessarily once that ball is rolled from one side to the other.
Yeah, it's tucked back. You know, your goal is to have the vision from the wall anyway. But what that does is it kind of takes it back when it pushes it off to the side. That increases some of that area. Obviously, the wall, as long as they stay intact, will still have that spot recovery. But we have a substitution now for France, as coming off is Mbaka Niaro.
Really impressed with her. Not only her movement up front, but her desire to work back, to help the midfield win the ball, and then get forward right away as well. You know, a lot of times you talk about, well, that player's working back too far and you're missing the attacker. Once she wins the ball, she was making a 30-yard sprint and was right in that line almost as quickly as she had left it.
And she did get the goal score as well. Boosie comes off too, and she was phenomenal in the first little bit, creating along the side. And for her is Sawad. Now is a chance up for Brazil, and that's poked back to the keeper and now played out.
Well, it's just the way the French players recover without panicking. even on that play from Ravelli, she never looked out of control trying to get back to stop that breakaway. Knew exactly what she wanted to do, knew when she needed to step in, and you saw that there too. As this is going to be a get out of jail free card for France.
And Kazadi came on for Baccaniaro. Again, another communication with Yaya. Extra touch held up in the air just a little bit. That's pushed down to the corner. As Imane Saud. Brazil player back down behind the ball. Up to her feet.
Victoria Reis just had a lot to do today.
Another throw here for France. That'll go off. France this time. Brazil will have it. Pretty good job by the center, Jamie Padilla, so far. The one whistle that probably shouldn't have been, but overall, both teams have been able to play quite a bit here. That one will go off, and it'll be Brazil. Offside this time as the flag comes up. Marta again disagrees, but that one was pretty evident from here.
Still love that cushion header back though. It was really the right move. As take a look, and love that Camila has her head up as she's looking and strikes that one really well to get that forward. But once again, the Brazilian players just need to make sure they're looking across that line. That's a beautiful turn, and that yellow card is going to be created because of the skill.
That yellow card goes to Ravelli.
There's just the little drop of the hips and then the turn right there. And Ravelli, really nothing she could do there except for commit the foul. And I think it looked worse because the spin was so nice and so quickly done. So.
Yellow card issued in the 74th minute to number 2, Manon.
That ball flipped on.
I was hit on like a frozen rope from Camila. I thought it needed a bit more trajectory, but not when you get that flick on like that.
That's always that near post run. Here's a chance with a little sweep in action. It will deflect off of France, and the deflection doesn't hurt him, but it will go out for a throw in on the near side.
And I know I've been complimentary of France's ability to recover on the defensive end, but I feel like their back line is getting a bit discombobulated at times here. It just seems like they're losing their shape a little bit, and I think Brazil, if they can stay on side, will have an opportunity to break through inside these final 15+ minutes.
Can Brazil take advantage of it, as we do have just about a quarter hour and stoppage time remaining? Towards the corner, running down onto it is Giselli, and she cannot keep it in. Long run for Giselli. Down the line. Brazil covers well. Lauren. Unfortunately, that one go out at midfield.
I don't think there was any need to turn and just smack that one there. You can go back to your keeper. You have time to put your foot on the ball. It's going to work out for Brazil in the end, though.
And Gisele, nice ball inside, but stepping on it. Yeah, on the tackle, and she'll get the free kick.
Once again, 3 players converging right away. If it's in a tight space, they do know how to attack it well, and just really no way for the French player to turn out of that. As you could see here, Victoria Yaya strengthen the tackle.
Well, this is played out towards the 18, and that header is a little askew. But France will not be punished for it. That one sent across the field. Got help from the left back. It's Gisele, or excuse me, that's Bellamy. Inside. Passes just haven't been as crisp for France here in the second half. France will be set to make 2 more subs. Eva Kawash will come off. Be replaced by the other Ava, and that's Fremo. And Dufour will come off.
Substitutions in the 78th minute for France. Entering the game, number 8, Adeline Cocard. Leaving the game, number 10, Julie Dufour. Entering the game, number 5, Eva Fremo. Leaving the game, number 17, Eva Kawash.
Well, when Dufour comes out on Wednesday, she'll have played 35 times for France at the youth levels.
Wow.
That's amazing, the resume that she has already.
Big number for a youth player. This one through and onside that time, but stepped in front by Malolita, who's now got the new captain's armband. She'll help escort this ball back to her goalkeeper, Petito. Wearing the armband because Dufour did come off. This one sent down the line. One of the subs, that is Cocard. Put it back out to the high side. Played into the area. It's going to roll through everyone. It's a race. Well won there by France as Amadou come in. That will go over the line and back, so it'll be a throw. Brazil with wholesale changes now. They'll
That's it. You see 3 in your screen. That's not even all the players who are going to come on for Brazil at the moment.
There are 4 players. 2011, 18 and 2. We'll get those eventually for you here.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see, as you see on your screen, Julia coming on, but I'm really excited to see Luana, who's coming on, because she's actually a freshman at Monroe College, New Rochelle, where she had 25 goals in 15 games, along with 9 assists.
Some impressive numbers like that.
And so obviously, numbers like that will earn you a call-up to your national team. It'll be really interesting to see how she does here. I really was impressed with Victoria Yaya and the way she played tonight. I thought if there was a goal that would have been scored from Brazil, she would have had the assist.
She was very creative here tonight. Any subs here in the last 10 minutes will be asked the same as Eduarda.
80th minute for Brazil. Entering the game, number 20, Luana.
Portuguese, lack of Portuguese accent.
Number 11, Jack.
She makes her way on.
Leaving the game, number 8. Entering the game, number 15, Carmel. Leaving the game, number 9, Marta.
Carmel will be on as well.
Julia. Leaving the game, number 2, Victoria.
Julia and Luana, as you mentioned.
Carmel, too, also plays stateside. She's a sophomore at the University of North Florida.
Up there in Jacksonville.
Which is where she played her club ball growing up in the ECNL with Jacksonville Armada.
Lots of roots there. Coming down to a little place not named Duval. Corner kick here for France. I believe this is Ravelli. Sent in. That's a header back post. It's headed back down, and now it's cleared out. It will be a throw in for France here on the near side.
Now, obviously, it's a corner kick, so everybody's back for Brazil. But one of the adjustments they have made is making sure that they have players watching runners at the back post. It was something where France almost hurt him the last time around. But this time, 2 players at the back post, and you see that Brazil was ready for it this time around.
Full space now for Brazil. Going down is go off of Brazil as Maolida. Her clearance goes off of Brazil. Brazil will take it, attacking third, and they'll get the free kick. So they'll send the big bodies up. Not much more chances, Mark, here in the last 6 minutes in stoppage time. Still trailing by a goal, needs one back. Those will be sent up into the area. That header, and it was a clean header by Maria, who just can't put it on target.
That was a great effort to get in there. Eduarda in there as well, but that's where you need to snap that neck around. She did a great job to get to the ball, but that's where at that last minute you snap the head around right there to try and get it on frame, and just wasn't able to do that since her shoulders were already facing toward the corner flag.
Delivery by Julia on that one, right there where it needed to be.
But the last 2 free kicks, though, have been extremely dangerous for Brazil.
We'll see if they make an effort to get that restart somewhere into that attacking third again.
Ravelli's one-on-one defending has been really impressive. She's only been undone once today, and it resulted in a yellow card, but other than that, been really good on both sides of the ball for France.
Recovery on that breakaway for Brazil. It's instrumental to that, to keeping the shot away from. That will be Ravelli off her into the corner. Throw in for Brazil. Down, not quite cleanly by Camila, but she will get the throw. Cramping, looks like, Mark.
Yeah, Camila has definitely been extremely busy, and you know, really fair play to the French team too. I can't see the number,
I think it was,
but right away picking up her legs, recognizing it's a cramp, and trying to help her stretch out. Yeah, Kazadi, very sportingly done there from her.
She recognized it right away because, you know, as soon as Camila went down, Grace Kazadi didn't even wait, said, all right, and no, she's got the other leg now. Both legs for Camila, so her teammates on it this time. Kazadi helped her out with the right leg. Now the left leg is giving her issues. Humidity starting to creep back up into the air here down in Florida. We had a really dry weekend. Should start to see a little bit more. Sometimes you see those cramps that start, they don't stop. I've had a cramp for about 3 years now. Of course, I'm not nearly as young as these people are. Young ladies, young women, I guess, as we play the 20s. That ball played up the field. Good chance for first ball. Played down a little bit more towards the corner, but wonderful hustle. Now that strike and the sliding stop by Lauren kept Monsoud from going on target, but good work by the Frenchman and good recovery by Brazil.
Some really dazzling footwork, and it's easy for me to say it when I'm watching it in slow motion, but if I'm going over that tape with Salou, I'm going to say, you know, the minute you see the defender leave her feet like that to go make the block, give it one more cutback, and then you can pass the ball beyond the keeper. But like I said, it's really easy to say it up here when you're watching in slow motion. It's about 1,000 times slower than what she was actually experiencing there. And you know, credit for Lauren coming all the way across to get that block in.
A lot of time those eyes light up when you have that opportunity, and just that quickness by the slide eliminates that shot ability.
And Gila Kem has won 3 under-19 European championships. It's really such a smart coach, loves tactical theory, and you can see that with this group that he has, that they're definitely applying it.
Here's Maria. Fortunate first touch as that went on. She'll chase it down out there with Bellamou, and they'll go off Maria. So as we enter the 90th minute, we have 1 minute plus any stoppage time. France holding on to a 1-0 first half lead. That's where we stand here as we play this 90th. I believe there will be 3 minutes of stoppage time. Post that up for you in a second. Here's France will have this throw at midfield. And this will be a free kick for France and will allow them to take more time off the clock. Yellow card issued. I think it's Camila. Three minutes, as Mark mentioned, or as I mentioned, after Mark told me. Here's a chance here for France. So you go on net here. You're about 30, we'll say 29 yards out, because the wall is set at 19 yards. See if they can get it up and down. It will be up and down. The keeper makes a save. Nicole able to hold on to it too as the shot taken by Kokar. get a card here for kicking the ball away. And she will. Yellow card. Yellow card issued, and that's to the corner. It'll be a free kick here for Brazil. Camila will take it. Towards the 18. Ball bounces. Second ball is out for Brazil. Can't clear the defense and sent back up. 50-yard breakaway. The keeper's out. Nicole Lee. Does she decide to go over to Suad? Suad to the 18. She'll go out. The goalkeeper, Nicole Lee, keeps it a 1-goal deficit right now.
Well, excellent work. At that point, it just becomes a chess match, waiting to see who moves first. And Nicole Lee stood her ground quite beautifully.
That would have been the end of it. As it is, France will take their time.
Well, Saoud's been stifled twice now, and twice, I think, could have kept it just a second longer and see if you can round the keeper there.
I knew she had the trailing defender, but Camila wasn't going to catch her.
Well, the thing is, too, is if you cut across that trailing defender, then all Camila could do is bring her down at the expense of a red card and possibly a penalty shot. But, yep, now you just take it into the corner and you try and hold on to it as long as you can. Don't give them any chance to get back upfield. The thing that disappointed me about Brazil on their free kick is once they won that second clearance and had the ball, nobody got out wide. Everybody was compact inside that 18. Get somebody out wide. They'll be all alone to serve it back into the danger area.
Well, this ball's into the corner, and it will be a corner kick. Well, unfortunately, there's Giselli tried to keep that one in. Kazadi standing over it now, but she'll let that happen here. As we've killed a minute and a half in the corner already, as this will be Kokar who will take it, but I'm sure they'll play it short between her and Kazadi just to keep it in the corner. Down into the corner. And it will be a Brazil throw. Do they have time for a run? We've seen 3 minutes pass. How much more is added? Well, nothing more is added. So at the end of this, it was a France to Brazil with a couple chances. Never really tested Petito much of the second half, but the chances were there. They just finished on the wrong end of a 1-0 result.
Yeah, you have to give credit to France. I think they managed this game out really professionally. It wasn't one of those where it's 1-0, we have 5 minutes left, let's try and pack it in. And even when they were put on the back foot, they still were able to spring a breakaway, and then when they got their opportunity, they took it to the corner. So really well managed by France, who I think just put together a really solid, I would say about 65 to 70 minutes where they were definitely the top team, and then as they began to wilt a little bit, they were able to realize it and still hang on for all 3 points. Brazil, super impressive the way they defended. I think if they can begin to combine a bit more going forward, then they're going to be a very dangerous team, not only for the rest of these Nike International friendlies, but going into March's U20 South American Championships.
Our next Nike International friendlies is on Wednesday when we introduce the USA 2 teams to play both France and Brazil. That will be Wednesday, but don't forget we do have the Development Academy Winter Cup action tomorrow. So you can catch us right here at ussoccer.com or on the US Soccer DA channel, or wherever it is that you're watching now. Be sure to watch it again on tomorrow or Tuesday. For Mark Serber, I'm Mike Pepper. We'll talk to you all tomorrow. The final, France beats Brazil 1-0 here at the Nike International Friendlies at Premier Sports Campus at Lakewood Ranch.